finally here. It feels like Christmas and early autumn. The first DFS slate of the season is finally posted, and El Capitan Mike Holland joins me to give you everything you need to know to get this bread. Now let's get to it. Recording live from somewhere. This is One and Done. Ooh, with the fire intro, it's time once again for everybody to come aboard that One and Done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball información. I can't contain myself. The first CBB DFS slate of the season is upon us, and we're happy you're here to chop it up with us. My name is Jay Heinrich, and if you don't know, now you know. I'm the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train at Dr. William Cannon on X. You can see where you can follow us on the socials for the show page, scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now. But do yourself a favor and get over to X and follow this man. Around here, he's known as El Capitan himself. He's the captain of the One and Done ship. He does the ship. I do the train. At MC Holland 34, the OG Money Mike Holland. And it's DFS slate number one, my man. What it do?
It is DFS slate number one of the 25-26 season. And yeah, here we are, man. Out to hopefully, what do you do, Jay? You count some commas and get ourselves some commas. What was it again?
Chasing commas.
Chasing commas.
We're comma chasers.
I just wanted to hear it, man. The chat is fired up. I love it. Also, we are bringing back the One and Done Invitational. So we're doing the One and Done Invitational number one. Let me get through this. It's what it's called. It's officially what it's called. It's a $5 entry. We got a lot of new breadheads. Some of the old breadheads diving in. I put it up to 40 spots. Private tournament. We'll throw the old link in the chat, and we'll also throw it in the comments after the show. We've also posted it over on our Twitter, so go check that out. But the top 5 will get paid, man. We had a lot of fun last year. I think 12 spots already filled for that. So yeah, exciting times for the old One and Done Invitational, Jay.
Well, and the king of the MC Holland 34 Invitational, as it is so lovingly known around these parts, the king of those parts is our guy Cam, CT Huggins, C-Thuggin, the man of many names, the godfather of Iowa bowling in the comments. Make sure you join him, Sam the Sniper, Snake's Eyes, our guy Darren's in the chat as well, Forklift Jeremy. The gang is all here, Mike, and they're here for this 8-game slate. Join 1,613 of your fellow hoop heads, brethren, sisterin, whatever you want to call it, breadheads now for this DFS season. Hit those buttons and join us as we go along on this DFS journey. Mike, an 8-game slate tipping at 7:30 Eastern time on Monday, November 3rd. That's a little bit out. We wanted to put this out there, let it cook a little bit, give everybody time to take some notes. You know we love the beginning of the season around here on One and Done, and we feel like we've got some opportunities here to take advantage of this slate. So, Mike, why don't we go ahead and get to it? Give us a quick overview of how you feel like this slate's going to go. What are your thoughts on it? And then we'll dive into the games.
Yeah, just real quick. Beginning of the season, it's always volatile. We don't have a lot of reliable data. We're going off of exhibitions where coaches play a lot of random lineups and players, and some we don't know, what's going on with some teams as far as injury. So yeah, we just got to pay attention to the news. You really have to every single slate that we do, but it's super important at the beginning of the year. And then you can always catch fire by doing some wild stuff at the beginning of the year. So don't be afraid to kind of toss something out. If you're playing large field tournaments, the pricing is actually, it's pretty tight. Now I wouldn't say that it's out of control, at the top. We don't have anybody in the 5-figure range, but the studs are pretty expensive to get to, but we have a lot of value to sort through. We had a lot of blowouts to kind of, look at here. We got 5 out of the 8 or 23 plus point spreads, Jay. So yeah, there's a lot to dive into, man. So let's not keep the people waiting, my man.
Hey, fortune favors the bold around here, especially. And we're going to be talking about some bold picks that you can make to try to get this bread win those big tournaments, maybe in some cash game stuff. We like to throw in that core four. It's coming. The core four is coming at the end of the show, so make sure you stick around for that. Nice, solid way to build your tournament lineups or your cash lineups. We're gonna dish that out later in the show. We got that Linkovic Chimovsky there for the DraftKings competition in the chat. Now I don't know if we flashed on the screen or not, but it's in the live chat. So make sure that you get it there, or go over to X later on at One and Done CBB and find the tweet from that one and click it and get in and have some fun with your broskies in basketball. We definitely would love to see you in there. Okay, let's get to it, Mike. An 8-game slate here, and we're going to start with maybe not the first team I thought whose name I was going to say on DFS slate number 1, but yes, it's Quinnipiac. They're there. They're the first team I'm going to mention out of all the DFS slates in the 25-26 season. Quinnipiac at St. John's, a 155-point implied total here to lead off the year. Both teams are projected by Ken Palm's rankings to be about top 50 or in Quinnipiac's case, top 15 tempos here. St. John's 52nd projected tempo here. So obviously 155 points. We like that total in these DFS streets. And this game last year was a blowout. St. John's won 96-73. Both teams going to probably run it up and down again. And Mike, looking at the Bobcats here, it starts with the guy that you drafted in the first round of our best ball draft that we had here on One and Done and live streamed. Amari Monroe, that is a guy, obviously somebody in the mid-major ranks that's going to do a lot of damage. He's a usage and shot monster for them, shot rate monster for them. But when you look at those 2 tier A games from last year, including St. John's, it wasn't exactly very pretty. A 66 offensive rating and put up 14.5 fantasy points. 0 for 9 from the field. I'm not saying like Amari Monroe is not going to score from the field against St. John's in this game, but I don't know, man. I think I'm going to pass and wait and just hope we see him on another slate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm drafting him for, the non-tier A games that he's going to play, but yeah, I would assume he probably gets a couple of buckets in this one, although that front line's not a lot of fun, so I agree with you on that. I don't feel like there's a lot to touch on this side, man. Like, the implied total is 65. We got a new point guard coming in for them from FIU. It's going to be Asim Jones. He's going to fill the void. They had a stat-stuffing point guard last year, Savion Lewis, who was a lot of fun. He didn't shoot the ball, but he racked up a ton of assists. So Jones is going to have more of a shot volume, but at 5,100, it's just kind of like no man's land for me. I'm going to pass on that. Jaden Zimmerman, the same thing. He's just kind of a floor spacing guard, no peripheral upside. We have Grant Randall here at 3,700. He should be stepping into a starting role. It's not much to get excited about other than he's 3,700 and he rebounds and he shoots a lot of threes. Now, he only made 16% of them last year, so going to need that number to go up, and it probably won't against St. John's, man. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's kind of a cross-off side, man, unless you want to get cute and take a shot at a Monroe or Jones and pray that they somehow keep this close, but they're probably going to get beat by 25 to 30 points here, man. So Duran Gomba, the transfer from UMass, don't really have much love for him at 3,500. Ronell Giles is 3,100, missed last year with an injury. Should be a big part of the rotation, man. Just don't love this side though.
Yeah, totally understandable. On the St. John's side, 90 implied points, quite a difference there, but the blowout could be in effect here, so that could obviously affect some of the higher priced players, including preseason Big East Player of the Year, Zuby Ejiofor. Not too shabby, not the price king on the slate, but still up there at 9.3. Only played 19 minutes in last year's matchup, if that gives you any indication of what a blowout could do for this game and its players from a DFS perspective. He did have 5 blocks in 19 minutes, so I mean, that's not going to make up for only playing, that little of time, but it's still pretty damn impressive. Quinnipiac was 322nd in the country in getting the shot block. So, I mean, he's going to destroy these guys. But again, it's a question of minutes because this is a very, very deep team. Up there in price as well, Ian Jackson came off the bench actually against Michigan the other night in the exhibition, playing 22 minutes. I don't know if we need to put a ton of stock in that, but I just feel like I'm not comfortable at 8,600 not knowing if he's going to be the starter in the starting lineup or not. I can't spend up until I can see a little bit of production on the court.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like, it feels weird. Like, you look at the team total 90, and you're like, man, like somebody's gonna get there, right? But then you look and you're like, they're probably gonna play a ton of guys. Like, they have like 7 or 8 starters, which we've talked about all offseason, right? Bryce Hopkins at 8K. The minutes are not going to be an issue. We talked about this on our news and notes show the other day. He played 40 minutes in the overtime game against Michigan, so it looks like he's healthy, and he definitely has double-double upside in this spot. But it's going to be the same story. Like, Hopkins is going to battle Ejiofor and Mitchell for rebounds. So it's like, which one of those guys? You want to try to figure out which one of those guys is going to get there, how many minutes they're going to play. There's going to be a lot of vulturing, a deep rotation that we expect, man. So if you're going to play Hopkins, like, you're hoping that the boards, he gets up to that 10 spot so you can get that double-double bonus, and you're really hoping that he's going to produce some stocks and get you a couple of steals to pay off 8K. So I'm not there. Dylan Darling, oh boy, man. Played those 31 minutes against Michigan, pretty much ineffective. Sellers was in foul trouble, so I don't think he's going to have that type of role to start, and this price is just too high. Like, I got to see what he looks like, even though the matchup's probably a little more what he's used to coming from the Big Sky, but this price tag's just not for me, man. I'm really interested in Dylan Mitchell and Isaiah Sellers because, one, the price tag, and two, just kind of what their roles are. So Dylan Mitchell, Patino's just been raving about him all offseason. Very experienced, right? Played at Texas, played at Cincinnati. He's going to start. He's going to play solid minutes, double-double threat, just like Hopkins, just like Ejiofor. What you really like, obviously, is that he's $1,700 cheaper than Bryce Hopkins, right? You don't get the guard position eligibility there. But, I mean, just a solid play there, man. Like, if he comes up with something like 14 points, 10 boards, and a couple of blocks, you're going to feel really good at 6,300. I don't have any interest in Sandin, but Isaiah Sellers, I'm actually really intrigued with Isaiah Sellers because he's in this, like, weird, 5K to 5,500. It feels really weird on this slate. We only saw him play 8 minutes, and we're going to call it point Sellers because apparently he's going to try to play the point guard this year. He had a lot of foul trouble in that Michigan game. He only took 2 shots, but 8 minutes, like, we can't really tell. Like, if he's a guy that's going to play 28 minutes, we know he can shoot the 3. We know that he's going to have the ball in his hands as a point guard. Now, they played through Azubi a lot. He had like 5 or 6 assists in that game. But, man, if he shoots it well, if he puts up something like 13 points, falls over like 3 boards, hands out 3 or 4 assists, and he chips in a couple of stocks, like, at 5,500, that could be a sneaky large field type of play if he gets 25 fantasy points at 5,400, man. So I don't know. Those are really the 2 guys I'm interested in. I'm really just interested in Mitchell and Sellers for the large field, man. But that's about the extent I have in this entire game, honestly.
Yeah, man. Sellers at 5,400, like, at that price tag, that gamble that he like you said, he kind of trips over a few rebounds, and then you pick up a couple of stocks there, and that pays it off.
No one's going to play him either, so
you're going to have that, and that's what we're looking for here, right? We're looking for guys like the single entry, our guy Corey McDaniel, who just finds the 0.8% played guys somehow. And I'm not saying Sellers is going to be that low played, but he's not going to be super popular, I don't think. We'll see. I'm very interested, but I don't know. Chat, let us know what you think. You think Isaiah Sellers is somebody you're going to be on the bandwagon with? Do you think a lot of people are going to be on that because of the price? Or people are going to be scared off because of that exhibition showing?
Cam's asking if he can even get dimes. There's a lot of wild card to Sellers, man. So we'll see, man. Like, I don't mind. I might toss him in. I'm going to have way too many lineups, obviously, opening night. So he'll be good for you.
Yeah, I think the point is that price tag, it's worth chasing it once or twice if you're multi-entering and entering in anything. I think if somebody at 5,400, you're going to be looking at the end of your lineups and thinking, like, I could definitely cram him in there and feel decent about it. So good stuff there. All right. 12% is Cam's flag.
Nah, I think it'd be probably 5.
I was going to
go there's too many cheap plays. Like, people aren't going to play 5 to 5,500.
To a lot of those cheap plays here down the road. Make sure you're hanging out with us this whole time. And if you're not, make sure you hit that subscribe button so we show up at the top of your app there when you open it up. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bells. We're going to be coming live with these DFS shows. We're going to be having live before locks. Mike's coming to you. Going to bring you that heat so you can get your lineup set right leading up to a locked slate. We're going to be coming to you all the time and with our news and notes. So make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. And Micah,
is that for St. John's?
We back up.
Is that Let us know, Micah.
I thought
it's been a minute, man.
I thought he was talking
for us.
Done. I thought he was back for DFS, but let us know, Micah. I mean, I thought he's we back up.
Bad.
Good stuff there. Good to see you, Micah. Good to see everybody in the live chat as well. Make sure you hit all those buttons as we move on to the next game. Florida versus Arizona, a 163-point implied total out there at the T-Mobile Arena, where we visited a couple of Sweet 16/Elite 8s ago.
Yeah.
We were out there, but Florida and Arizona inhabiting that arena for this slate. 84 points implied for Florida here and 79 for Arizona. Obviously, two teams that are going to score some points in only 5-point spread. This is going to be an interesting one to try to be a part of here, and another one where both teams are projected at least to get up and down the court. And these are two really good basketball teams, to the surprise of nobody. Like, they're good, right? So let's start with Thomas Houck. 9K flat, no need to worry. My accountant handles that. Came on strong during the middle of the year, and obviously one of their key pieces in their title run. Somebody that we saw out in San Antonio at the Final Four. He's a double. Speaking of double threats, like double bonus, hanging around Houck all the time, but also has that assist upside, 3-point upside. He's going to be one of the top options for them, Mike. Whereas, like last year, even though we knew that he was a day in, day out, night in, night out, put it in a heavy shift sort of a contributor. Now, like, he is one of the guys, if not the guy, on any given night, and probably one of my favorite forward spend ups. Do you feel the same about Houck? I mean, obviously Condon is right there at 700. Like, how are you feeling about these guys and anybody else on this Florida side?
Yeah, I feel like probably every single lineup I'll play one or the other. And maybe I'll put both together just in case they both kind of go off, which they did that a few times last year. But Condon, an awesome play as well, man. Like, you look at their rates, they're basically the same. I think what you kind of have to like about Condon, not only saving $300, but his combined stock rate was 7.5%. So I think he gives a little more juice. You look at their like exhibition and scrimmages and stuff, like these guys have been dealing. So to me, like, you should probably have one of these two in every single lineup here. Boogie Flan, man, 8,700, stepping into this Walter Clayton role. Like, I wish we were getting a little bit better price to start. I think he's going to have to deal with Jaden Bradley defense, which I don't love. And he didn't participate in the scrimmage this past Monday, but it sounds like, it was precautionary. I think this is probably a pass for me, even if he does play. Xavier Lee at 8,300, Jay, like a lot of question marks about his transition, but the reports from Florida Basketball Hour on Twitter are saying that he had 17 points and 8 assists against Illinois in a close scrimmage without Fland. That's encouraging, but Fland's expected to be back. So, I don't feels more like a wait and see with these top two dogs. I'd rather spend my coin, especially over 8K, on playing either Houck or Condon. And then that fifth starter is kind of up in the air, Jay. They have a few bench pieces. I don't know that we need to get cute, but anybody down here that is worth mentioning?
I mean, you got some cheapies. AJ Brown is at 4,400. CJ Ingram 3,400. Klavjar 3,300. I mean, these are all guys in the backcourt that you got to consider at these prices. I think Klavjar is probably the most interesting of the three. Dirt cheap, shoots a lot of threes, has that pedigree. I think he's got to be in your value player pool as well. CJ Ingram, a top 25 freshman coming in. It makes sense that he's going to get some playing time. They're going to want to see what he can do, but I don't know if I can click on it yet. And then AJ Brown transferring in from Ohio, too expensive for a bench role with these other guys. I like Klavjar is probably my favorite out of those three cheapies. 3,300, I feel like you're going to be able to pair him up with one of those more expensive guys. Or even, if you end up playing, the two most expensive guys on Florida and you want to really stack this up because you think it's going to go over, then you can, reach down for Klavjar again.
That's going to be starting.
Yeah. So obviously,
love to see the starting lineup for them. Because they're talking about Houck at the 3. We'll see if they actually do that. I doubt. I think it's a Michigan thing. Oh, we're gonna play Lindyborg, Mara, and Johnson together. It's like, okay, let's.
Yeah, let's tap the brakes on that one. But hey, how about not tapping the brakes on Arizona here? Another team, obviously, Mike, that I hold near and dear to my heart. Somebody that somehow always makes their way deep into my bracket come March, and a team that we've got to pay attention to in this slate with this total in this game, and a lot of talented players.
Yeah, so they got the young guys, man. Koa Pete, he's 8,600. Like they priced up these freshmen, which is cool. Like they need these young guys to be high usage players. Pete's a really good rebounder. I don't love this price, and I don't love this matchup, man. Like potential foul trouble here with Condon. How I mean, we didn't even mention like Chinyelu and Han Lockton. So like got a bunch of dudes, right? Plus I don't know if he's like this 30+ minute guy against St. Mary's in the exhibition, only 23 minutes. And that was without Awaka. And then the other night, Awaka came back, and him and Kriva started together. But that's more Tommy Lloyd just trying to like mix and match stuff. So he's gonna start. The pace of this game and his pedigree put him in play. I probably won't do it here, man. You got Braden Berries, also a 5-star freshman. He's 8,100, and dude's an absolute bucket. Should be in line for 28 to 30 minutes. Kind of in no man's land with the price tag, 8,100. Don't love it. It feels like this kind of like the 7,500 to like 80 before you get to the studs at the 8,500 mark is no man's land. Then 5K to like 5,500 is like really weird on this slate. But probably a pass for me. I kind of want to wait and see here. The guy that I have the most interest in, honestly, here is Jaden Bradley. He's 7,900, and his role's pretty secure. And without Love around, his usage should probably go up to 20 to 22%. He also has assist upside and steal upside. And I think Tommy Lloyd's probably going to lean on him pretty early in the season as these young guys try to get their legs underneath them. I think he's kind of a rock solid cash play with a little bit of tournament upside. I don't love the 7,900, but I feel like he's probably the safest player here for Arizona, Jay. What else you got down here, man?
Well, yeah, cash game type of a guy, right? And you had to mention my guy Love. Love letters the love letters from Jay won't take place during the Arizona segments anymore because Caleb Love is gone. But that's obviously going to be somebody, Jaden Bradley, I should say, is somebody that's going to take advantage of that. A little bit cheaper here on this one. Toby Awaka, you mentioned him earlier, and then Cam in the chat mentioned Mo Krivas being priced pretty well. I'm not sure what's going to happen with these two. I'm assuming they go back to sort of like a near even timeshare, but Lloyd did start them together the other night in the exhibition. I'm not expecting that to be the case opening night, but he's shown at least a willingness to play them together, which could mean maybe they won't just take from each other and they'll be able to feed off at the same time. They'll both be able to eat. We'll see how that goes. I think Krivas is probably the better play, as Cam was saying, in terms of his pricing. The upside is there as well. A 125 offensive rating last year with a 33% combined rebound rate, 33% assist rate, and a 5% block rate as well. So all of that said, if you're worried about things like fouls, foul trouble in a game like this, where who gives a shit if they score 85 points? If you get 2 fouls 3 minutes in the first half, you're riding the pine. All right. So that's really that's where if there is a worry, right? But either way, Krivas is priced well. I'm interested in him. Karchenkov, 3K flat.
Yeah, like
we've talked about him. We've talked about him on the show within the last couple of weeks. International player, right? This is a 20-minute guy, right, Mike?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah,
like he's gonna play. Yeah. They're gonna want to see what he has. He's got to be in your value player pool. And if you're sitting there and you do whatever you want to do, and you take you really spend up on a couple of options, and you've got to have somebody at 3K. We really feel good about the fact that he's going to play 20 minutes at bottom basement pricing. So somebody I think to consider there for sure. Excellent stuff here in the live chat. Oh, Mike is back. It's our friend Mike Hoochie back in the live chat. Very good to see you back, Mr. Hoochie, and everybody else as well. I saw our friend Ryan Osterman from Bracket Bits hopping in. We're talking Quinnipiac. We talk everybody here, my man. We're doing it here on One and Done. So make sure, if you haven't already, Everybody needs to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our DFS coverage, our news and notes coverage, live before locks. We're doing it all here on One and Done year round, so make sure you smash those buttons. A couple games into this 8-game slate now. Why don't we move on to Boston College at FAU, a 152-point implied total. It says it right over
this game,
somewhere over there, right over there on the screen. You see it, 152 right there. Going to be a close one. We love close games that have totals projected above 150, Mike, and this is going to be a close one for sure. The tempo, Boston College doesn't necessarily get up and down, but this is just going to be one of those close game environments where there's going to be some buckets scored and some good basketball being played. So let's look at the price king here, at least in this game, and that's Donald Hand Jr. He's not the price king of the slate, but he's close. Hand is 9,400 in the clear alpha on this Boston College side. Should see at least a 25% usage and shot rate. We're projecting strong rebounder. But that's about the extent of the production. Sub 10% assist rate, sub 2% combined stock rate. When you don't even feel confident, when you can't even half-ass joke about tripping into a steal or something, that doesn't feel really good, especially at this price tag. He's probably just going to have to shoot the lights out of the gym to pay this price tag off, man, but it's possible.
Yeah, he's put up some big numbers, man. You don't love it, right? For upside, at this price tag, it's you need something else. He would have to go 24-10, right? If he's not going to do anything else. So yeah, I mean, okay. For me, man, I'm probably not looking at the too expensive guard. Chase Forte, I mean, say expensive. He's kind of this mid-tier at 7,200. Coming in from South Dakota, and he's not going to have anywhere near the role that he had last year at South Dakota. He had a 33% usage rate, a 30% shot rate. Well, yeah, he got the start against UConn the other night, and he only logged 16 minutes. He had 2 points and 3 turnovers. So I'm not saying that that's his ceiling, right? But it just kind of he's not going to be taking all these shots, especially with Donald Hand on your team and some. Are you saying
that playing him will not be your forte?
Yeah, I will not be playing him.
Thank you very much.
You're out of here.
Let's go.
There it is, man, and he's out. Nah, but I think if I'm playing any of the guards, it's probably Fred Payne. He's kind of an interesting mid-tier option. He had the highest offensive rating on the team, 110.6 last year. Clearly a better team when he was on the floor. He logged a team-high 32 minutes in the exhibition. He took 11 shots. He finished with 12 points, 4 boards, and assists. And it's going to be a much easier matchup than playing UConn, even though we kind of dog UConn's defense all the time. But, hey, for dogging them for a Power 5 school. So he kind of feels sneaky in terms because he's in that weird, like we said, that mid 5K range. You got Bowden Kapke, not interested in him. He's a backup big. He's at 5,300. Aiden Shaw, not interested in him. He's a low usage rebounder and shot blocker that came in from Missouri. I don't even think I'd play him at 3.9. Jay, there's kind of an interesting play here, man. Jaden Hastings, what are your thoughts here on Jaden Hastings?
This is your classic boom bust, large field type of a play here, right smack in the middle of these prices, I should say, at 4,900. Foul trouble in the UConn exhibition. Don't want to see that, but put up games of 25 or more fantasy points 3 times last year. 24% combined rebound rate, 9% shot block rate last season, and the usage. Speaking of, we back up. They're gone. All right. So,
Raz, what's up,
Raz?
Oh,
boy. This is going to be one of your highest owned guys on Monday, and you feel sick about it. My friend, it's a price tag that I'm going to be along with as well. It's just the fouls, right? The fouls worry me a lot. 6.7 fouls per 40 minutes last year.
That's not good, is it?
That is less than ideal.
You only get 5?
That's less than ideal. You do only get 5. They have not changed that rule as of yet. So, but yeah, boom bust there for Hastings, and I love it that Raz is in here as well talking about Hastings. I like Forte when he gets down to about 4,800.
Forte.
Yeah, I think I want to play him once he's under 5K, and I think it won't be long before we see that. So we'll revisit that at that time. But what about the FAU side? Florida Atlantic, 75 implied points here. The top 100 projected tempo. They actually played tonight. This is, what is it, Thursday night that we're recording, right? So FAU played tonight, and of course, you were tweeting about it earlier, Mike. We talked about it in our
Not
group
like
chat.
this.
Of course, Nico Moretti was in street clothes, somebody that kind of wanted to play a pretty large role in the plans for Monday night's slate, but over on X, at the old Owl's Nest, Coach Jacobs shared that Moretti tweaked his ankle in practice and was held out tonight because of that. Feels it's precautionary, probably. Not sure if it'll impact Monday, but I don't think he would have told us one way or the other, honestly. But this is big news for the slate, man. Something that we really wanted to not have to pay much attention to in terms of just feeling
Yeah.
confident about Moretti. But we got the starters tonight, but the bench was cleared against Florida Tech in the first 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
why don't you just start with Moretti and
Yeah.
then, just throw some darts against something?
Yeah. So,
What's the deal with this?
I mean, instead of like jumping on some of these teams that have, 55 and 60 team totals, like we have a Florida Atlantic team at home against a Power 5 defense that is barely cracking the top 100. And 75 implied total. Like a couple of these guys are probably going to go off. And Nico Moretti, like if he's playing, he's the clear-cut leader. He's going to see a big spike in usage of minutes. He already carried a 25% assist rate, and he also had some steal upside. If he's in, like you have to consider him. Now the ankle, it's worrisome, man. Like it's worrisome because then it's like, where is he at condition wise? That worries. Is he going to match? Because like they probably need him to play like 35 plus minutes, to be honest with you, because they don't have much outside of him. And oh god, here we go. And Cam's tossing it in the chat. Cannon Carlisle here, man. He's 3,900. If Moretti misses, he basically becomes a core play. Unfortunately, chatting with Fear the Turtle over on Twitter, and he's like, "Yeah, 80% Cannon Carlisle," and he's just burned us so many times.
Take your Rolaids.
It's gonna be like he's gonna take a million shots. He's gonna absorb a ton of usage. He had a great game tonight, of course. Had ancillary production and peripherals. Let's got to monitor it, man. Like the thing that I look at in these like weird games with Florida, we're playing Florida Tech tonight. Like I look at the first half, right? First half minutes, he played 18 minutes and they were up 20. So no Moretti, he plays 18 first half minutes. He's the first 4 subs that come out, he's the one that stays on the floor. I'm and somebody said it earlier. I think they're ready to be hurt again. That's pretty much sums up the slate here if Moretti's out, man. So selfishly, I kind of want Moretti to play, but even so, he's still a good play just because he's going to have a big role, man. Devin Vanderpool, he's at 5,500. Like he got the start today, but I believe this is probably because Moretti was out. I see Elohim and Carlisle playing with Moretti once he comes back. So he's too expensive, even though he scored 24 points tonight in exhibition. I'm not playing him. Elohim come in from USC. He's 4,600. I think he's a kind of a cool, sneaky pivot here, man. Pretty nice first half, 5 points, 2 boards, 2 assists. He had the second most minutes in the first half. He played 14 first half minutes, and he actually tied Carlisle. I think they both played 26 minutes, which is the most on the team. So he's in line for a big role here. I would expect like closer to 30 minutes when they play Boston College here, based on kind of what we've seen 30 plus. He's, kind of a sneaky pivot here, man. Has the pedigree right. Like we got to see some consistency, and this is the time to take a shot on somebody like him. And then you have these 2 forwards, Devin Williams. He comes in from UCLA. He just, 9 points and a board and 3 fouls. Like he got into foul trouble during the exhibition today. BC's going to obviously be much tougher defensively than what he's going to get from Florida Tech, but that's still encouraging. But I'm going to take a wait and see approach with Williams. I'm actually going to maybe take a shot on Xander Pentalon. He logged the most first half minutes of the front court with 12. I only shot 1 for 4, but he had 3 points, 3 boards. He's like an international big that's like 22 years old. And he actually played in a pretty tough league overseas. So bare minimum, maybe worth taking a stab in large field. Getting Florida Atlantic right, and it may come down to playing Cannon Carlisle and maybe getting someone else here, because they're going to – if they go over their total here, man, the prices are too cheap, especially with Moretti being out, man. So just, it's probably going to be the side that decides the whole slate. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, Sam the Sniper was talking about game stacks earlier, and he was mentioning playing both sides with Hastings and Carlisle. Um, I'm not going to be afraid to play multiple low price guys on this side, especially in tournaments where I have a lot of entries. Like, spend up for some of these guys that I really like, and then you talked about Pendleton. I'm like looking at Josiah Parker, maybe not as a guy that I want to just fire off immediately right now. Maybe a name that we should file away, but 7 minutes, 4 points, 4 boards. Again, like maybe not getting too cute here, but a name at 3K, and even if let's say he gets 12 minutes, and then we're looking at somebody he might cost 3,200 or whatever the next time out. Somebody that to look we should see if they carve out a role. I like Pentalon for sure. I like Williams there. Hoping he can stay healthy just in general for FAU. But the key to the slate, man, like you said,
no,
like, just don't you love it? FAU, the key to our success and happiness. Gotta love it. Make sure, you know what I think the key to your success and happiness out there in the one and done universe is to hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Over 1,600, 12, 13, 14, who knows by now. It's probably on its way to 11 gazillion, fulfillion, and one. YouTube's going to make us our own special cool plaque for that one. But in the meantime, let's get to 1625 before opening night. Everybody push those buttons and show your broskies some love. All right. How's the live chat looking? Everybody's looking good. Okay, a lot of Hoosier hate. Yeah, okay, all right, very good. Everybody's in a good mood tonight in the live chat, and we love to see it. Keep the live chat going. We'd love to hear what you have to say about some of these guys, especially Lehigh. Let us know all of your thoughts on the 54 implied points that Lehigh is supposed to have against Houston. Okay, so we're going to blow through this Lehigh side. The projected starters, nobody's over 5,300. That's Nasir Whitlock. High usage, little peripheral ability though, but we don't talk about playing these guys, but Whitlock 5,300, Josh Ingram 5,000, Hank Alvey 4,100, Ed Benoit 4K flat, Jalen Vasquez 3K. Vasquez is the pass first JUCO transfer. I love how many times we've mentioned the guys that are at 3K flat on this slate. You're not going to have a bunch of these guys that are going to be at that min price tag for super long, especially ones that we know are going to get a little bit of playing time. Vasquez is one of those guys going to get some dimes there. Benoit, I want to see what his role is first. Let's get off of it. We already spent too much time on here. Unless you like just shoveling your money into a furnace, don't play anybody. To talk about Houston, Mike, here, we got an 86-point implied total here. They're just going to defend, and all those stats are going to be there. They're going to score the ball. Slower team, but team, obviously one of the slowest teams in the entire country in terms of tempo, but still some players that we have to consider.
Yeah, and I love that, Lehigh is going to hopefully pace them up at the top 125 projected in tempo. Chris Sinek, the 5-star Frosh, looked awesome in the exhibition game against Mississippi State. He played 29 minutes, had 9, 9, 2, 1, and 4, 5 stocks. This is a big price tag for him on opening night. So I just feel much better using his counterpart in the front court, and that's JoJo Tugler at 7,200. Love this spot here, especially in tournaments. If the exhibition's any indication as to his usage, he's going to be one of the best point per dollar plays on the slate, and he's not going to be 7,200 for very long. He took 14 field goal attempts and got to the line 6 times in the exhibition game against Mississippi State. One of the best rebounders and shot blockers in the sport. And Lehigh can't protect the rim. So you're telling me you're going to be Tugler 28 minutes with additional usage. I mean, that just looks like 30-plus fantasy points pretty easily. But the one thing that can stop him is fouls, because he loved to get into foul trouble, nearly 6 fouls per 40 last year. The guards, man, you got Uzan and Sharp using here. Like, they're going to soak up a ton of usage here, and he can fill up the stat sheet in a hurry. And he's a candidate to average over 10-plus rebounds and assists combined this year. But price tag is not a lot of fun. And we know Sampson likes to play a bunch of guys in these non-con blowouts. And then with Sharp, like, you're not going to have the same assist guy. Sharp was like 6K pretty much all year last year, and you were hoping he'd get 2 or 3 steals and catch fire and score 20 points. But like even if he does that at 8K, like it's pretty much a no-go for me on this one, man. So yeah, Jay. I mean, the guy that I'm most interested in is JJ Tugler. JoJo Tugler, excuse me. Anybody you got here?
Play Tugler at 7,200 before he's 9,300. Okay, we're telling you now to make sure you play Tugler before he costs 2K more at least. Like, get it in there. How about Kingston Fleming's 5,900 here, freshman guard? Gonna have some big games this year for sure. Probably much more of a tournament play if you think he gets it going right. Large field tournaments, but he's gonna play 30 minutes. We feel like he's gonna play a ton of minutes, and this is the type of a game where even if it does get out of hand, you're probably going to leave your freshman on the court a little bit more than you would some of your other guys to sort of see what he can do. He played 29 minutes in the exhibition and posted a 5, 4, and 4 line with the steal. So, I mean, it's an interesting play here, another name to sort of at least stash away. But he's going to be on the court, and in a game like this with a team projected total of 86, if you can guarantee me 30 minutes, I'm interested. So we'll see if Flemings can pay that off for sure. All right, good stuff there. We are rolling along here on 1 and done.
Yeah, 8K Sharp needs 35 real life points to get there.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
What's up, Steve?
Happen. Steve hopping in there, Raptor ACC preview show over there. Guys at RPS, the Run Pure Sports guys. Good to see you in the chat, Steve.
Just cross Lehigh and Quinton Piak off. We already did that for you, my man.
Yeah, exactly. Good stuff there. Oh, he's got minutes done, or everyone but Lehigh. Oh, I see there. Okay, yeah, don't even worry about it, man. Just right here. Like Des Bryant used to. I'm not a Cowboys guy, but isn't that a Des Bryant gimmick? He used to do that.
That's what he used to do when he used to hit the corner threes.
I would go down the court with I was the 3 by the pot. It was by the hip too. It was down here. That's how I used to do that for sure. And you know what I was doing is I was drinking Citrus Cooler Gator. And this is not an ad, okay? But I'm hyped that they brought Citrus Cooler back, at least on a limited thing, man. If you love shout out for Citrus Cooler Gatorade. Put a shout out in the chat for Citrus Cooler. If you love it, if you drank it, because if you're like me, you're in your early 40s, and this is when they used to have, back in my day when they had glass bottle Gatorade. Anyways,
no, we're not.
We are not jamming multiple Lehigh pieces. No, sir, Steve. Good stuff, man. Always good to see you in there. Good to see everybody in the live chat. Keep it rolling as we move along now to the next game on the slate. Jackson State at Illinois. A 28-point spread here. I don't know, man. Like 158-point implied total. Jackson State only implied for 65 of those. Let's start. All right, I'll start with Jackson State here. Deshaun Ruffin, returning usage leader for them, 28% last year. Also has a high assist and steal rate. Can dig both of those. We need those peripherals. Even at 5,700, we got to get some extra stats in there to pay that off. So spent last year with JSU, but has the experience at the P5 level, obviously, if you remember him over at Ole Miss. 65 is solid enough of a team total for me at this price. And he's going to take 15 shots, 16 shots, 17 shots, 18 shots. He's in play, okay? Ruffin is in play for Jackson State. One more for me. I'll take Devin Ree here, 4,500, comes in from Louisiana Tech after a few years. Started his career at Louisville. Not really a high usage guy. I don't see that really changing. Pass for me there. So I'll pass to you, man. I like Ruffin, 5,700 here for Jackson State. Any other thoughts before we move to the Illinois side?
Yeah, so it's rough, right? Look at 65, and you're like, okay, but it's a pace up, right? Both teams, Illinois 22nd in tempo, Jackson State projected at 101. So you're getting a lot of possessions, and then the price tags are just super cheap once you get past Ruffin. I don't know that I'm going to get to Ruffin in tournaments, man, but yeah, he's going to take a ton of shots in a high-paced game. He's not going to be afraid of P5 competition, even though he didn't play a Tier A game last year. None of these guys did. We'll start with Kevion Hunt, man. He's 4,500. Came off the bench in the exhibition game, but still a high-usage player for him. He's a small guard, like 5'9", 5'10". He has some steal and assist upside. And somebody's going to get to 20 fantasy points. Probably a couple of these guys. So, like, I don't know. I'm probably not. There's a bunch of these dudes in the 4K range, man. There's Jamie Mitchell. He's guard forward eligible, 4,100, high shot volume wing. A little bit of sprinkle of ancillary production. He takes a ton of threes. He's a large field dart, man. But the guy that I'm most interested in is Dorian McMillan. He's 4K. He's coming off of a pretty good freshman year. Carried a 23% shot rate last year. He has solid rebounding and stock upside, and he really shot the ball well from three last year, 37%. Kind of maybe an overlooked dart here at 4K. And then you got this kid, Kobe Butler. So Manziel and Grant are gone, and they were actually pretty good at protecting the rim. This is going to be a small Jackson State lineup, man. Kobe Butler got the start in the exhibition. He's 3K. He's a freshman. You're going to have a tough matchup, man, but he's at the min price. But there's just – I mean, we've already talked about Carlisle. We got a couple more guys. One of my favorite plays on the slate a little bit later for Villanova is going to be 3K. I just don't know that you have to play that many of these guys, but it is a stars and scrubs type of build that we're looking at here, man. Because like we said, the 5K to 5.5 is weird, and the 8 to like 8.5 is kind of weird. So yeah, man. I mean, maybe one of these guys. I think I would take a shot on McMillan, but you got to feel most comfortable about Ruffin here. What do you think about this Illinois side here, Jay? 93 implied total, there's not going to be any interior defense.
I love to hear that, and I love especially when Ivicic is at 8,900. My man got his tonsils removed and missed the last exhibition game. Dude was eating soft serve ice cream, watching him play. I heard allegedly, but it was reported that he participated in the close scrimmage a few days ago. So he's back on the court. And you talked about conditioning earlier, Mike. Like, it's one of those things you just want to make sure that he's tonsils out. These guys are finely tuned athletes. But again, that sort of a recovery from an immune system can obviously take its toll. So, is Ivicic going to be at his best? I wouldn't expect too many minutes in the opener, but from a fantasy point per minute upside, we know that he's that guy. He could get there in 25 minutes realistically, right? Especially since this front court, you mentioned it, there's not going to be any interior defense being played against them. They're going to do whatever they want. So, I mean, I'm about to talk about his brother, which is it's interesting, because you have Tomislav at 8,900,
Big Z,
and then you go down here to Big Z's Zvonimir. It sounds like these two guys are about to fight each other for the World Heavyweight Championship or something like that. These boxing guys, no, but Big Z. I mean, it's probably going to be he'll be on the wrong end of a 40, 60-ish timeshare with his brother at the 5. I kind of want to see how this is going to shake out. And I think that these prices will adjust accordingly over the first few weeks of the season. And I don't know, man. I kind of want to see – I want to look for some better options if I'm paying this much. I think there's some cheaper options. Too. Yeah, a lot of forwards that we could play. And I mean, maybe – are there any forwards? There's a couple more forwards that we're going to talk about on this team. But can you really – are you interested in the front court at all here on this side, or are you more interested in the back court?
I want to toss – Tomislav in a large field, but I would feel better playing some other guys that are priced up that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. So yeah, probably off on the Ivicic brothers, but man, I'm not touching Ben Humrickhouse or whatever. He just stands in the corner at 6,600. So no way I'm playing him. But dude, David Mirkovic at 3,900. I was kind of hoping Tomislav would miss so he could feel comfortable. But he looked really good in the exhibitions, and he's absolutely stuffing the stat sheet that you can really pass. I still think he's a great tournament option, and we should get much lower ownership on him. So I would love it if he started, but I don't even mind if he doesn't start, man. I think that's just going to drag his ownership down even more. And this dude's capable of putting up some big numbers. I think he's an awesome tournament play here, man. So I'm focused in on Mirkovic here. These guards, man, it's, Colin Boswell, you kind of know what you're going to get with him. This backcourt's kind of unsettled too, but he should get a little bit of a usage bump to kind of start the year. Mihailo Petrovic just got cleared the other day, and he's kind of working through an injury. So, Boswell pretty volatile. Past the paying off, though, because, he didn't shoot it well last year, but he's a much better shooter than what he shot. I think he shot 24% from 3 last year. He's due for some positive shooting regression. That price tag, though, 8,400, I'm just not in love with it. We don't really know what's going on with Stojakovic right now at 8,200. I think even if he's cleared to play, I don't love it. Petrovic just talked about a couple of days ago. He got cleared only a couple of minutes in the close scrimmage. No thanks. And you got this kid, Keaton Wagler, 3K. 4-star freshman, and he's been starting during the exhibitions. It doesn't feel great because, you have Petrovic working his way back, but I got to think that, like, he's still in line for solid minutes, especially if he starts 24 to 26. And if you put him at that, he's going to profile pretty good against a JSU team that, they're going to be getting some wide open looks because they're going to be packing the paint to try to stop these bigs. So you get a lot of wide open shots and some easy assists and things like that, man. So, yeah, Merkovich, dude, probably going to be way over the field with him. Wagler, just kind of interesting. I don't know about the spin up pieces, man. Maybe a Tomislav on one out of 20.
Like a tournament on.
Yeah, just it's like a large field, man. See if you can just nuke 42 fantasy points in 25 minutes, which he's capable of.
Very possible. Petrovic's go out. His price will drop, and then he'll settle in somewhere around that 6K range throughout the season. Probably somebody that we'll discuss once we get a little bit clearer idea of what his usage and what he's going to do on a night in, night out basis. But somebody that we'll probably revisit down the road, but not for this Monday slate. Excellent stuff, Mike. As always, let's keep it rolling here after everybody hits those like and subscribe buttons. If they haven't already, you're hanging out with us on a Thursday night. Lamar Jackson threw for 17 touchdowns tonight for my fantasy team, I think. I'm not real sure, but either way, you're hanging out with us here on a Thursday night on One and Done, and we definitely appreciate you. If you're watching live, if you're watching later, why don't you hop in that comment section? Let us know what you think about some of these things we're breaking down. Let us know who your team is. Let us know who your value plays are. We want to hear from you. Want to hear from you over on X as well. At One and Done CBB is where you can find the show page. I had some interactions today on some of the tweets that I was putting out there, just talking about the show. I was pumped to see how excited everybody was on the socials that we were coming back live with the DFS show. So make sure you follow us all over there. Follow our guy at Fantasy Nav in those Twitter streets. We got the studio ready, got the graphics up for you. Eric the Blue doing his thing out there in the fantasy world. The best fantasy follow and the best football follow, Mike, on this side of the Mississippi. Did you know that?
Of course. I did know that.
Which side you ask? With whatever side you're on. That's
it doesn't matter.
That's what side. And then, of course, our guy pushing the buttons tonight at Nape C Hustle out there on X. Our guy Nape doing a good job as always. Pushing the buttons and getting you the comments and getting you the tickers and getting you everything else that we need to do for sure. All right. Oakland at Michigan. Don't really think Oakland, Mike, is like Lehigh. We can just this team here is dead. Cross them off then. No, 64 implied points. Obviously a pace up against Michigan here. Oakland played something called Rochester Christian tonight in an exhibition. And they only won by 9. They gave up a 90 burger to Rochester Christian, who actually, as a part of the deal, had to stay behind and clean the arena up as a part of – no, that's not true. But they gave up a 90 spot to them. Oakland did. A couple of players to talk about, I guess.
Say his name and he'll appear.
Say his name and he appears. Buru Naivalurua. Preseason Horizon Player of the Year. Dude is an absolute hoss. Played in tonight's exhibition. Oh, ho-hum, 28. Too tough of a matchup, though, at this price, I think, to target him. I'm going to wait a little bit and hopefully the next time we see him, he's cheaper and, he's not playing Michigan. But Michael Hogue, didn't play in the exhibition. 5,200 is the price tag. Still reported that he was in a boot from that ankle injury, was Hogue. So doesn't sound like he's going to play, which means,
no.
Mike, it's time to turn to some cheapies. What you got?
Oh, God. No. Well, we'll run through this, man. So Brody Robinson, Nassim Bashir, Warren Marshall, and Isaac Garrett started with Buru tonight. Like, Brody Robinson comes in from UT Arlington. He has some ancillary upside. Shot 37% from the field last year. Don't love that, but he looks like the second option. 12 shots, 5 assists tonight. Bashir led the team in offensive rating. Really good shooter, but I'm not getting there. Marshall, he redshirted last year, 6'6" wing. 19 minutes in the exhibition against Alma College. He had 4 threes and 20 points. And then tonight had 7 points, but took 7 threes. You just can't get to any of these guys, man. Garrett's a JUCO transfer forward. Let's get to the side where Michigan's going to score 150 points. So we probably got to talk about some of these guys. Even though the price tags are, how many minutes are they going to play? 12 guys will probably hit the floor.
Well, all right. I'm just going to straight up ask you now. What's your percentage of Yaxel? How much are you going to be involved with Linda Borges?
Boy, man, like not as much as I probably want, because you're going to have minutes for Will Shedder and some of the younger guys because this thing's going to get out of hand. So I don't know, man. It's tough.
Not somebody that I'm plugging in on a ton of lineups, but I think you got to have some exposure because he is who he is, man. Anybody else? Like, I mean, Mara and Johnson are a couple of guys in this front court that we got to at least take a gander at, but which one?
Yeah, I mean, Mara, like, I like that he's starting, but he's probably just going to play 20 to 24 minutes, and he's a fantasy point per minute monster. So even at that price, but the thing is like 7,800. Like, he's got to get it. He's got to really get it going and hope that all these other guys and Gale takes a ton of shots right off his plate. And I don't know, 7,800 for Mara. Like, all these guys feel like large field, just like darts for upside. Maurice Johnson, flip a coin as to which guy is going to cross the 4X barrier. He was a monster in the St. John's exhibition. I kind of like it because he's off the bench. Maybe he could finish or like come closer to the end of the game and playing minutes. So yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I don't love it. I don't, as far as a team total of 87 to 90, it's hard to like a lot of these guys because you just know that these teams are going to play a lot of their bench guys early because these guys are going to be playing 32 plus minutes. Lundy Boys are going to be playing 35 minutes during the Big Ten play. So, like, yeah, that's the only thing that's kind of scary here. What do you think about this backcourt?
Well, and I think it's the same song, different story here with Cadeau at 7,300. He could have a nice game, but again, they're going to be playing a bunch of guys. Is he going to get those minutes in this one to pay off 7,300? I don't know if he's going to score enough in this one. In general, I don't know, man. It's Cadeau and seeing how Michigan's rotation works, especially as they play a little bit tougher competition, like that's going to help us tell the story a little bit easier. But I don't know if I like Cadeau here. I know I don't like Roddy Gale at 6,800. Like, this is not the same Roddy Gale role that we got used to. Like, he's not that guy. They're
going to tell him to stop shooting, get the ball in the bigs.
Hey, you're not that guy. Okay, Roddy Gale's not that guy. And Namari Burnett, I mean, he's a 3-and-D wing, man. 6,400. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not. So for me, it's basically like you pick Mara or Johnson.
Take a shot at one of the bigs, right? Like,
if you want to spend up for Lindeborg, and hope again, this is another guy that could go for 48 fantasy points in 26 minutes. Like, it's we can't even pretend like that's out of the realm of possibility here. But 9,500, are we paying up for that? A double? I don't know, man. Like, that to me might be the deal breaker there. Is are you going to get a bonus there for that? Is he going to get to 10 boards? Is he going to play enough to get 10 boards?
Yeah.
Who knows? Good question.
Oakland's going to try to slow the game down, man. Like, the 300 pitches. They don't want that many possessions in this game.
No, they don't. But we'll see. I don't know, man. Flip a coin in the front court. Flip 3 coins if you want, technically, I guess. When it comes to Michigan, high team total. Not a lot of confidence, though, that any one of those guys is just going to have their night. All right, like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already here. Villanova and BYU, the next game on the slate. Another game out there at the T-Mobile Arena there. Villanova, 75 projected points. BYU, 80 here. Close one. We like that a lot here. Devin Askew, man, like, not playing a guy that's, rivaling Chad Baker Mazzara for Senior Citizen of the Year in college hoops. And even though Askew, we forget that he reclassified and he was so young when he started. He's still a pup, but he's just been around forever, and he's also out. So I don't know why I just talked about him for 30 seconds. So it's going to push some of those cheaper guys now into some larger roles. I got to go in classic Jay fashion. I got to go grab this phone charger real quick. So I'm going to step out, Mike. Yeah. Tell us about this Villanova side.
Yeah, man. So Zion Stanford is questionable right now. It was reported on October 16th. I thought it was said that he was going to be back in 2 to 3 weeks, which I was like, okay, well, this is really going to affect probably one of my favorite value plays on the board, which is Malachi Palmer. But today on Twitter, Steve was also in on this, man. I piggybacked off the tweet, man. Dylan Johnson, who covers the team, said Willard said that on October 19th that Stanford was still in a boot for another 2 to 3 weeks, and he's looking more like December. So that sounds like he's out, which his news greatly impacts Malachi Palmer. So even if he somehow ends up playing, I don't think it'll be very many minutes, which takes us to Malachi Palmer at $3K, the former 4-star Maryland transfer. He played 36 minutes in the close loss on the road to Virginia. He took an eye-popping 17 shots to lead the team, and he racked up 4 stocks in that one. Virginia is going to be a solid team this year. Going to be probably one of my highest-owned players, especially if Stanford's ruled out. They just don't have a lot of options and a lot of bodies. Everything else on here outside of a Caden Lewis feels weird. Like Duke Brennan, he's not going to be asked to do much this year. Last year at Grand Canyon, his usage rate was 17%, and he basically didn't have any assist rate and very little ancillary production. So, without the bigger role offensively, there's kind of no point to him at 7,700. I'm not playing Tyler Perkins, sub 14% usage. Yeah, he's going to take a few more shots, sub 10%. Like, he just doesn't do much. He would need to be like closer to 4,700 for me to even consider him, even with the minutes. But, Caden Lewis, you have to really like. This is the other play that I'm really looking at. Big recruiting win, obviously, for Villanova. Initially committed to Kentucky. Top 50 national kid. Looks like he's kind of taking over a Wooga Poplar type role along with some Eric Dixon type usage. I don't know. It's kind of weird to watch it kind of unfold here. A little bit of Jameer Brickus as the lead guard here. But he played 34 minutes, took 15 shots in the exhibition. He's going to play 34-plus minutes. Looked really good. He also chipped in 5 assists. A lot to like here, especially in cash. Matt Hodge at 6K. I wish we could get him at like 5K. Was with this team last year, but had his waiver denied, so he had to redshirt. But he's a skilled forward. He's got some 3-point ability. When you look at this front line for Nova, he almost has to play 25-plus minutes to open up this offense. He dropped 13 points, 4 boards, and 27 minutes in the exhibition. Kind of what Jay was saying about a few players that we've talked about. He's more of a piece to kind of look at later on. I think he eventually starts for them, man. But yeah, for me, Jay, like it's Malachi Palmer, like gonna have probably just 90+% of him, and then some shares of Lewis here, man. Any thoughts on anybody here?
Maybe a little Gapare, 4,400, another Maryland transfer. Started and played 15 minutes. Didn't shoot very well in the exhibition, but it's hard to trust. Large field option, I guess, if you think he'll be on the floor for 25 minutes, but not super exciting there on this side. But on the other side, Mike, the BYU side, somebody that our man in the chat, Darren, is very familiar with, his number 1 pick in our best ball draft and the number 3 overall pick, actually, in our best ball draft. AJ DeBonsa, 9,700, special. Like, he's special, man. Like, what did he have? 30 against Nebraska? Like,
he had like 30.
Made it look easy. 7 boards, bunch of blocks.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he's doing it against, who did I badmouth earlier? Charleston, whatever.
Oh yeah,
listen, they're doing it. He's doing it against Nebraska and North Carolina in his exhibition stuff. I mean, he just looks the part, and he gets a Villanova defense with very little resistance at the rim. Who's going to guard him? He's locked into 31 to 33 minutes. It should be very, very easy to fit into your lineups, judging by how many value plays we've already discussed tonight. Like, I'm going to be, if not, I'm going to be very close to every single one of my lineups having DeBonsa in there. It's going to be hard for me to not just lock him in and just feel good about what he's going to do. Are you that confident in him?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. Yeah, he's going to be.
All right.
The one thing I will say for tournaments, it might be kind of interesting that Cam just brought this up, the pivot to Richie Saunders. No one's going to play him because everybody wants to play DeBonsa.
Yeah.
This team last year, 14th in bench minutes, but probably going to swing the other direction. Probably going to be more of a 7 to 8 man rotation. They got some injuries going on right now too. So that might change things. They might open it back up, but I would think that most of the starters play 28+ minutes. Saunders 40th in the country in offensive rating last year. He's not going to wow you with any peripherals, but that shot volume that he has, some of it's going to be taken away by DeBonsa, but just more of a pivot in a large field tournament, man, to create leverage there. He's going to have to be super efficient from the field and also tap into his upside to pay off 9,100 here, Jay. Kevin Kata, and his price tag. He got 50% of the minutes last year for this team. Even though we have Boscovich lurking, like he's a solid fantasy point per minute player, double upside, shot blocking upside. Just the 8K, it feels like it takes away the ceiling, man, even though he had 16 and 10 against North Carolina. I guess large field for me. I wish he was a little bit cheaper. Rob Wright, 7,800. He's going to pop for some big games. He's in this free-flowing offense now. He's got some really good wings to dish it off to, and a lob, finisher with Kevin Kata. So yeah, he's got a lot more options than he did at Baylor last year to pass to. He took 13 shots in the exhibition game against UNC. He scored 12 points, 5 assists. Kind of a sneaky stacking partner if you want to get different in a large field. And then Kennard Davis coming in from SIU. His role is going to be completely different, but he's starting. He's 4,300. I'd expect him to play 26-ish type minutes, maybe 28. Could potentially get to 30 because it's a regular season game on opening night, but he's starting in a high-octane offense, so I do have some interest, but I don't know, man. Like, it feels like he's priced about where he's going to get to most nights, so I don't know. Kind of tough there. Mihailo Boscovich, too. I mean, that guy's going to play 16 to 20 minutes as a backup big. I would just rather take other shots, in the bargain bin like we've already talked about.
Yeah, for sure. Good stuff, man. All right. This is the last game, right? We're down to it. The final game.
There it is.
Of this slate. Before we get there, make sure you do your part in the One and Done universe and hit those like and subscribe buttons. Turn on the notification bells so you don't miss one single solitary minute of our college basketball coverage. The live chat is still cooking, even an hour plus in. Love to see it. Of course, we've got some of the most knowledgeable people in the college basketball landscape hanging out in our live chat, and we definitely love to see that all the time. So join them, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and join them in there as we get to the final game of this slate. Eastern Washington at UCLA, a 149-point implied total in the hammer here. We'll start with Eastern Washington. Big news with preseason All-Big Sky guard Andrew Cook breaking his ankle at practice a few weeks ago, going to miss the entire season. That's very unfortunate, very, very unlucky news for Eastern Washington. He was a big part of what they do. So now we look elsewhere for production on this slate as, how about Isaiah Moses here? UC Riverside transfer, logged the most minutes and took the most shots against Nevada in the exhibition. High guard, high usage guard last year with a solid assist rate. So he's going to be the focal point in the backcourt, but it's kind of hard to play him at 6K there. We got the graphic updated now as we're talking about Moses, Mike. It's going to be hard at 6K to get him in there. But is there anybody even on these lower prices that are worthy of our time?
So the other starters were Tyler Powell, Kyrie Huey, Alton Hamilton, and Johnny Radford. So, Powell, not really, man. Low usage wing, didn't shoot it well last year, and in the exhibition on passing. Kyrie Huey's a little interesting, 3,200, foul trouble in the exhibition game, but he's a 6'9" forward. He has Power 5 experience, came over from Miami. They're going to need him in this game. So, yeah, GPP dart for me. Cam, talking earlier, man, Alton Hamilton, the NAIA transfer, 26 minutes in the expedition, 8 points, 8 boards. If you go to RotoWire, dude, I guess they just transferred his rates from NAIA and just and put him in at 28 minutes. It's like, okay, well, yeah, but his rates aren't going to be the same, and he's playing UCLA, so it's gonna be a lot different. But yeah, if you want to take a dart here on Alton Hamilton, I guess you could. I don't know. To me, it's I don't know how many darts you have to take, because for me, we'll talk about it here in a little bit. It's Merkovich for me is 3,900. You've got, Malachi Palmer at 3K. I just don't have to take that many shots at 3K, guys. But if you want to, okay. Johnny Radford, NAIA transfer also, 9 points in a steal in 22 minutes. Man, 12 players checked in, Jay. Dan Monson's probably going to play a bunch of dudes. So, yeah, I think for me, if I'm taking a dart on somebody, it's probably Huey, and I don't mind Hamilton. It'll probably go off now that I've talked mess about him, man. But more interested on the UCLA side here, Jay. So,
Yeah, UCLA here, not exactly projected to be, to get up and down on a regular basis in terms of their tempo, but they're going to score a lot of points in this one for sure against Eastern Washington. Um, some pretty big news here with Eric Daly likely going to miss. I feel like going a little bit cheaper here in the front court, trying to find a way to get into this game. I'll let you get to that, Mike. I'll let you get to the front court, but I'm going to start with one of the best guards in the country here, in Donovan Dent. Explosive athlete, crushed UC Irvine in the exhibition, 18 points, 8 dimes in the first half. We know he can put up big numbers against mid-major teams. So if we're going to be living in the cheapies, like Dent is a guy that is if we got a lot of 3K guys, right? 3K, 3,400. We had a lot of cheapies earlier that we could spend. Dent is a guy that I feel like we got to think about spending up with here. The problem is, man, is how long is Cronin going to run his guys, Mike? Like,
same
it
question.
worries me a little bit.
Yeah.
And also, they started Bilodeau, Booker, Brown, and Clark with him in that one. So what are your thoughts overall here on this UCLA side?
Yeah, I like Dent. I mean, he put up 18 points, 8 assists on UC Irvine. That was crazy in the first half. So we know what he can do at with this type of competition. But yeah, Bilodeau, I really like him for cash. Played 22 minutes, put up 19, 8, and 2 against UC Irvine also. And with Daly out, like he's going to be a focal point big man. So yeah, I do have some interest in Bilodeau and some smaller type stuff. Jamar Brown at 6,200, he's kind of a sneaky mid-tier tourney type play. Comes in from Kansas City. He had high usage. His role is going to change, right? But he's a big time rebounding wing, so he's got some rebounding upside. I think he doubled in the exhibition against UC Irvine. Now he's going to have to settle for like a complimentary role next to these other guys. And 2.5 steal rates, okay. So if you want to take a shot, like whatever. I think most people are going to come down here to the cheapies. You got Xavier Booker here at 3,800. I didn't really understand the fit, why they went out and got him, but I mean, he looked pretty good, 14 and 6, had 6 turnovers though against UC Irvine. But he's probably going to play 18 to 20 minutes with Daly out. Much safer play than some of these punts that we've been talking about and some of these mid-major teams. We'll just have to see, man. Like Cronin could definitely run a deep rotation here, but you do like that Daly's out for Booker's upside. Sky Clark, not a cheapie, but he's 6,900. We've heard all offseason how he's improved. I'm just not in love with the price tag. I'd rather play Cam's talking about Trent Perry. He's 3K again. We got another 3K guy, and this time he's coming off the bench, should get a lot of minutes. He hasn't shot it well in the exhibition, but he can hit threes, and he's got some steal upside. So I think he's a pretty solid value play as well, especially the bench piece. He's going to be out there at the end of the game down the stretch, man. So, yeah, you got to think he's in line for 20-ish minutes, or could maybe even get to 25, dude. So just so many value plays that on teams that have massive team totals, like Malachi Palmer, right? Cannon Carlisle, Merkovich from Illinois. Like it's hard to get away from those guys, man.
It is hard to get away from those guys, and we're gonna get to. I mean, how many lineups have you reserved already?
Too many.
All right. You don't have to give me a number. I'm curious. In the chat, let us know how many of your lineups y'all have reserved already. I've got my handful that I've already got my stuff set aside for. I'm excited about that. I know Mike has 1 to 11 gazillion of them already on lock, and we're going to be working through those as we progress towards opening night. It's Thursday if we were watching live. Obviously, this is going to cook a little bit. Make sure you follow at One and Done CBB for any updates that we might have leading up to the slate. Follow at MCL34, at Dr. William Cannon. We're retweeting, we're tweeting things out there. At One and Done CBB is the show page. Just make sure you do all that and hang out with us leading up to, and then obviously during the entire season. Our guy Raz, nothing reserved yet, but 40 or 50 on the way. My man. Good to see. Yeah, Snake Size 1 gazillion. See, you get it. Snake Size gets it. Snake Size replied on Twitter today saying they were going to be here. Definitely appreciated that. And what do you know? Showed up. Kept their word. Love to see that. Love to see everybody in the live chat, obviously, So, hey, let's keep it rolling here as we move on, Mike. It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to, but indeed it is Core 4 and more time. And you know what? If you've been around one and done. You know that I usually talk the cash core, the more high floor tournament type of plays, or just cash game stuff. So without Florida 9K flat, stepping into that big role, great rates across the board, and one of the go-to guys this year for Florida. Remember, he's not that fourth or fifth option anymore. He's going to be, if not one of the guys every night, he will be the guy for them. And I really like his floor in a cash game for sure. Caden Lewis, 6,700, the Villanova guard. Just going to be a busy night for him. Deshaun Ruffin from Jackson State, Mike. I know you're really high on him in terms of like maybe the one player on that side that we wanted to invest in here. Should play max minutes in a nice game environment and is their leader. So I like Deshaun Ruffin. And then Cannon Carlisle, going to have a big role regardless of all the times he's burned us in the past. I mean, hey, sometimes, you got to just dust yourself off and pick yourself back up and go back to the well, and that's what we're doing with Cannon Carlisle. So I've got Thomas Hawk, Caden Lewis, Deshaun Ruffin, and Cannon Carlisle is my high floor tournament plays, or at least the cash core for if you want to do it there. And it looks like 6,225 left per player to spend. That ain't too shabby. Plenty of money there to work with. But now what everybody's here for, Mike, we're chasing commas in these parts. And that means we're playing tournaments, playing some high risk, high reward type of a plays, maybe just trying to get some leverage in here. I'm always interested to see how you take this and the direction that you go. What are you interested in here? Do we legitimately have a core 4 to start the season?
Man, there's just so many good plays, man. So obviously these are like high upside, even some high risk, leverage type plays. I didn't leverage it this time because we just talked about Richie Saunders, but yeah, man, I got to go with AJ DeBonsa from BYU. Like the game environment is just so nice, and just everything that we've seen from him in the exhibition. Like he should just throw up a big number here. Condon, love him as a as a pivot from Howard. 8,700, talked about his combined stock rate. So at 8,700, definitely like him. And then I'd like the cheapies I've been talking about, dude, like Markovich at 3,900, Malachi Palmer at 3,000. Even if Stanford plays, I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, he's going to be one of my highest owned players. There are so many routes to go because it is early in the season where it's like, well, legitimately, there are a bunch of guys that are in play for this one. But these guys feel like I would consider just the highest upside for where their price tags are at, man. So that's exactly what I'm chasing right there. So yeah, I think with that, I'm not too far behind you on the remaining, man. 61.75. So
generous.
You throw in another 3K guy down there, you can go up and get basically 2 more studs and a lower mid tier play. So
a generous captain you are, good sir. Excellent stuff as always. That's the core 4 for your tournament. High risk type of plays. I gave you the cash core, a little bit of, love the floor on some of those. But we broke down 8 games for a DFS slate for the first time in the 2025-2026 season, and it feels so good to be back.
Love it.
Shout out to everybody that hung out with us all the way through. We definitely appreciate the love. We appreciate the live chat flowing all night long. Shout out to you, Darren, for not only being a part of our live chat, but always interacting with us on the socials as well. Shout out to you. Shout out to Snake's Eyes. Who else is in there tonight? Oh, man, there's so many. Raz was in there. Sam Sniper was in there. Our guy Cam, of course, the godfather of Iowa bowling. Cam was in there as well. Who else, Mike? Who did I miss?
We have Ryan Osterman in there.
Oh, yeah. Steve was in there. Our guy Steve Boyden was in there. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just all Forklift Jeremy at the beginning. Like, yeah, we had all the – and plenty more. Micah Feltman.
Don't forget our guy Mike Gucci was in there as well. Always good to see everybody in the live chat. So make sure you push those buttons and come back and join us next time, won't you? This is for the Monday slate, the opening night, and we're happy that you hung out with us to get this bread. Now, push all those buttons so you don't miss anything that we're doing. Shout out to Nate for pushing the button. Shout out to Eric for getting the studio ready. Shout out to that man sharing the screen with me tonight. He's El Capitan himself, the captain of the one and done ship at MC Holland 34 over on X. Give him a follow. Shout out to you, Cam. Shout out to everybody in the live chat.
Join the Invitational.
Yeoman Green, Darren. Hey, make sure you're interacting with us over on Twitter over the next few days. We're gonna have some anytime something drops, we're gonna be talking about it. So make sure you push all those buttons, follow us everywhere. And until next time, ladies and gents, my name is JayHeinRich. Come again. Peace and love.